Greetings, everybody. It is the Heritor, and welcome back to Rogue Trader. In the previous episode, we escaped from the dying Rykad system and have jumped into the Furibundus system, where we are now making our way to Footfall. We have a couple of things to do on Footfall, including meeting the Lord of Footfall, as well as meeting an archdeacon, was it? Or was it even a cardinal? I think it was just an archdeacon. At Argenta's request, and we also, we need to just introduce ourselves to the higher powers in Footfall Station. So we're going to be doing that this episode, but before we continue on, if you are enjoying this series, do drop this video a like. It helps out my little channel tremendously, especially now when I have very little time to do much recording. That should even out within the next couple of weeks, hopefully. A lot of work and other stuff going on, and my spine is regularly going into open rebellion, so that needs to be put down periodically. It all results in not as much recording as I would like to do. But anyways, let's move on. So we have Heinrich von Valancius actually to level up, so we're going to quickly do that. He's got 3 level ups to do, and I'm going to bring him along in this next mission. I think we can probably leave Idira in that case. Don't think we need all the amount of Psykers that we currently have. So, he has some interesting stuff that he can do, after all. We actually might want to just level up some of his base stats. His 60 willpower is pretty good, because his abilities are all willpower-based, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Well, this one isn't. This is just psi rating based. So actually, he doesn't even need willpower for this? Interesting. I'm sure he does for his other psychic abilities, but I can't look at those unless I cancel out of this. We have Iron Arm. This is probably based... Oh, no, it's just, again, psi rating. And Invigorate? Psi rating plus willpower bonus. Alright, so that one does require willpower, and this is going to be 1 plus psi rating. This doesn't have any numerical effects. Interesting indeed. We could buff up his melee combat capabilities by giving him some stat boosts. Might not be the worst idea ever. So we can give him a weapon skill. Oh, we gave him a weapon skill boost. We could give him a toughness boost. That doesn't sound like a terrible idea. It's going to make him a little bit more durable in close combat. Also, for him, yeah, indeed, he does not have Lore Imperium as a standard thing that he has unlocked. He does have Lore Xenos, which kind of leads me to think he's part of the Ordo Xenos, because his Lore Warp is low. And we'll keep it low. We've got 2 other Warp-based characters, along with myself, so I don't think we need that. He can be a medic-based character, or a Medicae-based character. As far as that goes, I'm just going to give him some carouse. Seems like something an Inquisitor would do anyways. Okay, so we actually just buffed up his toughness. I'm going to buff up his strength further, right here. And then we could give him some expertise-based abilities? No. Maybe, honestly, giving him some ballistic skill? No, but he's mostly using his psychic powers, isn't he? What do we have here? Edge of Dawn. Enemies adjacent to the Psyker suffer 10% more damage. That's not bad. I mean, because he wants to be in close. We'll take this. And then lastly, Daring Breach is going to be upgraded further. So, we don't want him to be a priority target. This turn, melee attacks deal an additional Warrior's Strength bonus divided by 2. His strength is okay. It will get better. I'm going to take this. Giving him 10 extra movement points. Oh, nice. It's already highlighted the one that we already have now. That's good. That helps a lot. So we're just going to make him super mobile. He's going to be able to dart in and out really quickly. Alright, let's actually talk to our companions at the start. So let's talk to Abelard here.
Lord Captain.
He has nothing new to say.
Lord Captain.
Great. Okay. And, are you Pascal? No, you are somebody else. IH. We can't talk to you. The reflections of the bridge lights are playing on the unlit vid screens of the cogitator. Next to the machine spirit stands a hunched tech priest, who bows as you approach, his body nearly folding in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirit of this mechanism slumbers. Should you wish to awaken it, use the key of your blood. Who are you, and what is your purpose here? My designation is IH-630. The tech priest points his only mechadendrite at the machine beside him. The venerated Engineer Prime has entrusted this sacred mechanism into my care. It is now my duty to assist in the rogue trader's understanding of the hallowed code. Yeah, I know what the blood key is. Let's see what this is. Place your hand inside the servitor's maw. What's a little bit more damage? Chunky. The tech priest by the cogitator nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request. Pascal has informed me that the system has encrypted data stored inside. Ah, yeah, indeed. Theodora's encrypted data. We definitely want to look into that, because she was up to something. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, the tech priest turns to cogitator. He raises his hands, and a prayer of binaric code pours out of his vox device. The servo motors in the bowels of the machine grow louder, its undulating hum responding to his chant. Numerical combinations run down the screens. Okay, bunch of code here. I won't read this all out this time. The machine spirit has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. The tech priest stops abruptly, and the green glow of his visor narrows. Shouldn't it be the data are damaged? Because data is plural, right? You know, datum is the singular of that. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Registering an intact segment, the machine spirit has spoken the worlds of Kiavagama and Dargonis hold certain data repositories. The mechanism is ready to provide the rogue trader with data keys that can unlock said repositories. What data repositories? That remains hidden. The encrypted databank belonged to the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. She was the only one who could have known about these repositories. Perhaps the former Engineer Prime also could have known Omnissiah except his code. If I were to propose a hypothesis, it would be most prudent of a figure as eminent as a rogue trader to store her classified data in receptacles most secure. How do I accept these keys? The gracious machine spirit is willing to transfer the data keys to the head of House von Valancius by means of an Elect-2, a hypodermic tattoo augment. If you are ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. Here we go again. Deep within the servitor's dark gullet, unseen, burning hot needles pierce your wrist. But the sharp pain only lasts for a moment. The Elect-2 that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. I need to know about the caches. The Omnissiah favors you. The machine spirit is willing to commence the calculation procedure that could restore the lost data. Tech use is 0. 87%? And we have 87%. Okay. Restore the data on the cache located on Dargonis. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding crackle. Then the sound stops. Or then the sounds stop, and an unmoving numerical combination lights up the screen. The tech priest's synthesized voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it is only a single phrase, litanies of the motive force. That is all the sacred mechanism was able to salvage. God damn it. Alright, and what about on Kiavagama? Same thing. Blessed are the Omnissiah's deeds. The repository on Kiavagama has a security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered a code that will allow you to disable the defenses. Okay. Have the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus been able to discern how the ship was able to start her warp engine? The Engineer Prime spends hours pursuing the quest for knowledge in hopes of comprehending the nature of said miracle. May the Omnissiah's grace guide him on his journey. There is no doubt that it was a miracle sent by the Omnissiah as a manifestation of his will, yet the Engineer Prime managed to perceive some logical connection within the streams of data. I am not privy to this connection, but the Engineer Prime will surely share this newly discovered knowledge with you in a detailed report. Alright, well, Thank you, IL630. Let's go find Pascal. See if he knows more about the miracle that we enacted. We did, after all, restart the ship's warp engines when that should not have been possible. Hopefully it has nothing to do with the Edge of Daybreak. Or any other nonsense. Bridge Technomat's up there. Where is Pascal? We can always look on the map, but it's just a regular old Bridge Technomat? No, it's not gonna be here. There he is. Alright, I've given him a plasma gun, by the way, because he does indeed have plasma gun proficiency. Thank you to the comment that pointed out the proficiencies of the various characters.
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Okay, he doesn't actually have anything to say.
May your labors be effective and fruitful.
I gotta get his voice down so that when we receive, like, the unvoiced dialogue, I can kind of mimic that. I'm trying to do that with all of the characters. He speaks slower than, I thought. Heinrichs, what about you? Heinrichs looks at you intently, his head tilted. I know nothing about you, Heinrichs. Could you tell me a little about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me. Not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained, and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
So, a night world are feudal worlds that are home to the ancient noble dynasties trained to pilot the engines of war called Imperial Knights. So instead of riding into battle on, you know, horses, because that's a little outdated, though they do still do it, they ride into battle on, well, more like in Imperial Knights, which are basically small Titans. I think they're of the same classification of machine as Titan, but they're substantially smaller, though admittedly the distinction in size is not always that clear, because you have small Titans like Warhound Titans, and then you've got rather large Knight variants as well. And there's a whole lot of different variants of these Knights, and they're basically giant mech walker things that fly the colors of their noble houses and everything, so they're all like super colorful and decorated with banners and pennants. It's really cool. Of course, there's also Chaos Knights that are a little bit more evil and spiky. Do you remember your home planet? Oh, actually, before that, a black ship, which was what he was taken by, are the dreadful Imperial void ships that transport Psykers, given up by numerous worlds as part of their tithe to the Imperium. My character was also on a black ship. Any sanctioned Psyker went onto a black ship. Most of the Psykers that are taken up by the black ship will either die en route, because they're pretty brutal to be on board, and most of these Psykers are untrained and untested and untempered, so will succumb to their own powers while on board. But the ones that make it to Holy Terra, they are tested. The ones found wanting, as in not strong enough to maintain their own powers, are fed to the Golden Throne. They are sacrificed. 1,000 are sacrificed every day to maintain the Golden Throne's power so that the light of the Astronomicon can continue to burn. Yeah, it's pretty grim, but, you know, this is a grimdark setting, so... The ones that are deemed strong enough, they are trained into various disciplines. So you either go into the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, which is, these are the astropaths, the eyeless psychers that function as the communication pieces for the Imperium. They're the ones that do faster than light communication through the warp, which is always super reliable and never goes wrong, ever. And then you have the... oh man, I forgot the name of it. The... something Psychana. And these are basically the battle psychers, and the ones that are not Adeptus Astra Telepathica. I believe there's a couple of other branches of psychers, but I do not remember them offhand. He, as an Inquisitor, would have gone presumably through the Psychana. He's still got his eyes, so... he's definitely not an astropath. And with the Psychana training that he had... he would have there gone to the Scala Progenum to learn about becoming an interrogator. Anyways, you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizon 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a Psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the Black Ship.
Yeah, so the Black Ships just patrol around the Imperium and collect Psykers. Tell me about the Black Ship. What was your experience?
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry Psykers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers.
Yep.
Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
Yeah, it sounds pretty grim. Most Psykers have, recurring nightmares about their journey on the Black Ships. How did you discover your abilities?
Like many Psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Sorcerer's powers are truly dangerous. I hope you have mastered your abilities since then.
When I arrived on Holy Terra and was tested, I was found to be suitable material for becoming a sanctioned Psyker, able to bend his curse to his own will. I can assure you that the adepts of the Astra Telepathica were right in their assessment.
This doesn't necessarily mean he went through the Astra Telepathica, though I could be wrong. Perhaps all Psykers go through that, but not all of them become astropaths. Feel free to, you know, correct me in the comments, as usual. This seems to imply more that they at least oversee the selection process, which would make sense. They, you know, without eyes, they rely purely on the warp for sight, so they could get a very good measure of who is capable of what. You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a Psyker, fit for service in the Imperial
So
Guard,
did not go through
where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Stops there, clearly not intending to elaborate further. Okay, so he did not go through the Scala Progenum then. Interesting. Most interrogators, particularly those of noble birth, go through the Scala Progenum. But he had a different path of getting there, which is, of course, entirely possible within the Inquisition. Inquisitions are about as eccentric and, you know, self-determining as rogue traders are. Each Inquisitor will have their own methods for how they recruit, how they operate, and how they, you know, do what they do. How long have you served the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
Yep. The warp will do that. You visited many worlds during your service, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of holy terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the segment's other worlds.
Yeah, I can imagine. What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
The interrogator returns your look and smiles, but thanks to the expression in his ice-cold eyes, the effect is rather unnerving. I like that. For someone who's been in the service for decades, you certainly look young. Yeah, Juvenat treatments will do that.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Yeah, I guess biomancers can do that. I actually didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Gladly.
You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met.
Yeah. Keep them separate. Keep different cells separate. That way if one cell gets compromised, they can't learn of the whole operation.
To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I've been working alone.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a position, or a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Yeah, most Inquisitors don't act on their own. They'll usually designate operatives and everything to do their work for them. Are there other acolytes in the Coronis Expanse? The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointed sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize that you will not be getting an answer. Alright. Wow, let's talk about something else then.
Such as?
We know what he can do as a Psyker. So we don't need to go into that right now. Alright. That will be that. Let's quickly find some of the other characters. It goes just up here. That's where Pascal is. Where is, I think the other ones are all down below. Though Idira was somewhere around here. We can go this way. Because, that's the helmsman. But we have Argenta here. Let's talk to Argenta.
Greetings.
Yeah, I don't need to, necessarily know that right now. Anything from, Cassia? Where was Cassia? She was somewhere around here. There she is, with Uwe. Or Uwe.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terror.
Interesting. So it seems like each Navigator house keeps its own routes. Intriguing. Navigators identify so strongly with their house. It must be difficult for you not to be able to lean on your elders. Do you have my word that I will look after you?
You will? That would be most appreciated, Lord Captain.
So you've never lived anywhere other than Urac 5?
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Definitely possible. It's very cool how she thinks in colors. Everything has a color descriptor to it. I must wonder if these are the actual colors that were there, or is just her vision painting it. I mean, it's also what she asked. Tell me about your life on the station.
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, it's, I think has good relations with the Regent Aronto. I remember from the situation on Urak 5, where they were testing on the servants, that when the Regent showed up, the horrible effects that Cassia was just kind of like projecting, unwillingly, onto the servants stopped. Like, Aronto made her calm, and thus, you know, none of the servants experienced horrible deaths. Interesting. Did you have friends? Someone you could turn to for a simple conversation? Not a discussion of yet another lecture.
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused, and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence.
What a fun place. Her childhood must have been rough.
And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
A ruler cannot maim people just because it is in her power to do so. On the contrary, it is the duty of every ruler to look after her subjects.
Your words sound amazingly blasphemous. If a ruler's duty dictates the need for violence, would dispensing it not be their responsibility? I will contemplate your answer in solitude.
What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Alronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me. But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers.
Yep.
As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was just noticing this myself. I noticed that your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many images with hues and colors.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
Interesting.
You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
What does your special sight reveal?
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it.
The willing ignorance of a zealot, perhaps?
Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life.
That's a good sign. Yeah. Abelard's just, you know, he's straight to the point. The crystal clarity. He says what he means. He doesn't mince his words. And he's very, I think he's quite honest. He's somebody that's probably not hiding anything, which is a rarity.
The esteemed Magus Hanuman is shattered like a beautiful stained glass window into a mosaic of colors. His bright, beckoning hues are mixed together in complete disarray. I must confess, it perplexes me. Normally, scarlet and steel are all that fills the heart of a servant of the Omnissiah.
I'm a bit concerned about the whole shattered window mosaic of colors. At least it's not covered in some oily, translucent sheen. But a bit concerning.
Behind the cobalt steel of his thoughts, behind the cold, faded gray of his emotions, an ember, the color of amber, glows in Master Van Kalox's soul. So bright and warm, one is tempted to touch it. It is sad that the interrogator seeks to drown it with his own hands in the bottomless blue of duty. Sad indeed, but I can relate.
Cassia looks into the distance, transfixed, as though it weren't you standing in front of her. Then she snaps out of it and lowers her eyes. Something going on between the two of them?
Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom. Bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
Probably both. Tell me about House Orselio.
As the only voice of our family on this vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them.
Is the Orselio prophecy system named after your ancestor?
You are shrewd indeed. My ancestor charted that route while fleeing the enemies of humanity.
Okay.
They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green hubris. I think Colleen Orselio was simply a skilled navigator.
I take it House Orselio has a rich history.
Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Coronis Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy.
And who rules the house?
Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate,
Symphony, right?
a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Auronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house.
Yeah. Belek wanted to get rid of her so that she couldn't become the new leader of the house because, yeah, she was the successor. And he was afraid of her, we'll call it gift. He lived in seclusion on a closed station until Felak committed a sabotage. So then you must be the Novator's successor.
So says Regent Auronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novator. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden.
Probably not yet, but with some guidance.
By all means. I have enjoyed your...
Alright, since, the other characters that we already had for a prolonged period of time didn't have anything to say, I'm going to assume Idira also doesn't have anything to say. So we're going to, head to the Coronus Expanse map. Lord Captain. Raver's voice over the Vox sounds weary rather than annoyed. I'm getting reports of several ships moving towards us. Judging by the fact that they're not responding to our hails and the telemetry shows a trail of macro batteries, they're not here for a chinwag. Ready to issue orders to prepare for battle at your command. Here's where we get our space combat tutorial. Could this be the work of Conrad Voigtveer? The silence over the Vox lasts for several seconds. It's possible. He could have hired some scum, or maybe it's just a pirate who saw the state of our ship and decided to push his luck. Where did they come from? Why haven't you noticed them before? The rubbish of Furibundus. And I'm not talking about the wrecks that are about to open fire. I mean the remains of meteorites, gas clouds, refuse from the shipyards. It all bunches together and the smaller ships hide behind it to harass ships as they emerge from the warp. Indeed, there is a huge, just debris ring around the Furibundus star, and a dead world, and then, of course, Footfall off in the distance. Are we gonna evade combat? Absolutely not. On my order, all stations get ready for void combat. It's time. One slight problem. I did not put various characters into various slots to do the void combat. Hopefully we'll be able to put that in. I did plug in the first couple of characters that we had initially, but I haven't done that since then. Let's see.
The whispers sound distant.
Cobra
the future
class.
is uncertain.
2 Cobra class destroyers. So they're pulling in. Alright, we're gonna actually read this. You've engaged an enemy in space combat. Battles in space and on the surfaces of planets work quite differently from one another. In space combat, the battlefield is separated into 3 zones marked by various degrees of brightness. 1, the acceleration zone, 2, the mid-movement zone, and 3, the end-movement zone. Ships travel at high speeds, even during combat, which is why both your ships and those of your enemies must move a certain distance each round. Okay, cool. So, yeah, there is compulsory movement. You have to fulfill movement amounts. I imagine we can adjust it as we go, but, no, just standing there and moving to different squares. You actually have to plan out your movement. I like that. I really love the X-Wing miniature game, which has also a really cool movement system like that, where, you know, you have to move your ships, and you have to move them in certain directions because of momentum. And that's cool. Move a ship, left mouse bumper on a cell, you'll see a hologram. Okay, same as the everything before. So, the Lucis Arrhenius is going to be engaging 2 Cobra-class destroyers. We have 4 people currently slotted in, so we are missing the Supreme Commander and the Shield Master. We have a starboard macro battery, Mars pattern macro battery, short-range broadside macro cannons, which fire 4 shots, dealing 14 damage per shot. We've got the same thing on the, yeah, the other side, port, sorry, starboard port. We have a dorsal Mezoa macro cannon, Short-range dorsal macro cannons, which fire 2 shots, dealing 14 damage per shot. Okay. And then we have our lance weapon in the front. There's a long-range lance dealing 45 to 55 damage to a chosen enemy within a narrow firing arc. And then, of course, our torpedoes, which will launch 4 torpedo salvos with the plasma warheads in the selected location. These torpedoes can move and attack, starting from the next round. When attacking, each torpedo deals 19 damage on a direct hit and 13 damage in a 1-cell area on a miss, detonating on a proximity fuse. Takes 1 round to reload. This is Restart Shields. Initiates the process of restarting the shields. The shields will be restored at the start of the flagship's next turn. Rerouting the power to the shields reduces the flagship's speed by -3 and firing range by -2. Okay. We have another button here, Swing Run. The flagship flies in a straight line, making a full U-turn at the end of its movement. Sick. So, doing a choreographed maneuver. Torpedo control gives control over the nearest torpedo salvo, granting it 4 VMP. What is VMP? Void movement points? Yep. Caught that. So you can actually control the torpedoes. Alright, this is gonna be a bit... So if we move here, or perhaps we want to move here even. We have to move somewhere. What if we go right there? Or even right here. No, I want to go right here. Because then we can use our macro batteries to target this Cobra-class destroyer. The ship is equipped with an arsenal of weapons. Yeah, which differ in terms of range. Okay, yeah, some ships are protected by shields. Alright. Shield depletion and attacking. When facing an enemy ship equipped with shields, choose your angle of attack wisely and direct your fire. Okay, so shields are angled. Alright. Yeah, shields recover per round. Rogue Trader's flagship is likewise protected by shields, also directionally speaking, so that's these markers, I believe. We can restart our shields, we know that. The flagship's damaged shields do not recover at the start of the next round. Instead, they can be restored to... Okay, so we don't get manual shield recovery. I reckon there's probably something that we can get that would do that. Or not manual, but automatic shield recovery. Restarting the shields reduces the flagship's combat efficiency. On its next turn, they will have reduced movement speed and firing range. Right, so we did some work there. We can also do some work right here with our Mezoa Lance Battery against this other target. So we cannot use... Ooh, hold on. Yes, we can. Can we just use all of our weapons every turn? Like, I reckon we can't use these anymore, even after we do our future movement, but we can definitely blast this thing, because its prow shields are damaged. Yeah, 7. So we can use our dorsal cannon right now. Right here. Yeah. Deliver some hits there. Very nice. Teeny bit of damage. It's not much, but it's something. We can do a ram as well. Alright. And we can tag this one with our Mezoa Lance Battery. Yeah. Didn't like that. Its side shields are slightly damaged. We could also fire our torpedoes. Okay. And then they can move. Holy shit, that's really cool. We have fired a torpedo salvo. Torpedoes will appear next turn in the priority order. Once their turn begins, you will be able to direct them. Your own torpedoes can pass through space occupied by your flagship without damaging it. Okay, that's good to know. As soon as your torpedoes reach a cell adjacent to an enemy, they explode. Enemy ships can attack your torpedoes and destroy them before they reach their target. One well-placed shot destroys the torpedo in a salvo. Okay, makes sense. So they can now move up. Ooh, no, it's our ship. Sorry. There's nothing more we can do from here. So what I'm going to do is actually pull us right up to here, possibly even to there, which we'll do. And then I can turn our macro batteries here onto this ship and get some damage in on their hull. Okay. How are we looking? We have good shields all around the board. And, yeah, this is torpedo control. I don't know if we can actually use this. We cannot use any of these ones as abilities either. No torpedo salvos ready yet? Okay. Let's end our turn. See what the enemy does. Okay, our shield is taking a bit of work. They're shooting with a cannon as well. Or their dorsal cannon. And this Cobra Destroyer is going to immediately fire, so that's cool. You can use each of your weapons every turn. We are taking a bit of damage. Some of that work is penetrating behind our shields. Okay, so we now have a bit of an issue, but we can solve this. Oh, this is the torpedoes. So if they move around this way, these ships are quite maneuverable. These enemy ships, I should say, the Cobras. I don't know if our torpedoes are actually going to do much, but this is a learning experience. What I want to do now is do my choreographed turn. What's it called? Swing run. Alright, so we'll do it like this. And flip around. Do we have anything in range? If our Mazoa Lance Battery can, you know, take a little bit of a pot shot there, we may as well do that. I'd like to hit the other one, actually, so I think I'm going to turn this way. I should have hologrammed that. That was stupid. Because now I can't. Okay. My bad. Torpedo control. This is just going to allow us to seize more control over our torpedoes. That's good, because we can then chase that ship down and hit them with our torpedoes. Right, so our movement up here was just a little bit of turning about. I don't... Ooh, we are going to take some damage onto our side. This side, particularly. Our prow shields are fine. These shields might get hammered by this destroyer. I don't know if it's worth doing yet. We'll wait. We'll see how much damage they do. Okay, they're actually pulling around. They're going to try and shoot at our torpedoes. They've taken 2 of them out. That is unfortunate. Okay, both of those missed. Very good. I don't think it's going to be able to hit us. Cobra-class destroyer is swinging around. Hopefully. Damn, these guys are really maneuverable. Makes sense. They are destroyers. Damn it, we're so close. Pull up to right here. We could detonate. Still not going to do anything. Would like to be able to use our torpedo control. Should have saved that. Though we wouldn't have been in this position had I not used it last turn, so... saving it wouldn't have mattered. Alright. As for me, we can now use our lance. No, we cannot. We can use our dorsal cannon. We could also fire more torpedoes. So let's actually quickly do that. Launch some more. And then we can fire our dorsal cannon. Just out of range. Okay, that's fine. We'll move right up to here. I'd like a slightly better angle. We could go right here, actually. Let's do that. And then we can soften them up with our lance. They don't have much shield on this side. This lance is going to actually wreck them. Oh, okay. Well, I did say it would wreck them, and it sure did. Alright then. Let's swing around. I don't like these asteroids just flying past. A little bit concerning. So that ship's quite far away. We've got 2 torpedoes. Neither of them are facing the right direction. I'm going to recharge our shields, because they're not going to be able to get to us next turn. And we're probably not going to be able to shoot them next turn either, so now's a good time for that. They're swinging around, slowly. Well, our torpedoes are going to have to do a bit of a turn. Hopefully they don't impact each other. No, they don't. Also served as a test to see if they would. And we'll get these ones in right here. Give them something to worry about. Okay, those torpedoes just detonated, so they do that after a little while. Good to know. Okay, we're bringing our ship about. We've got nothing in range. Even close, so we're just gonna hold off on that. We might be able to actually tag them with the torpedoes here. Okay. Take a bit of damage onto our shield. That's fine. And they're shooting some forward fire. Okay, that did not hit our shield. God damn it. They evaded again. Torpedoes are tricky to use. What can I say? Oh, I could have detonated them right there. Shit, I should have done that. Okay, my bad. I'm learning. First battle. It's going to be a bit rough. Okay, I could shoot more torpedoes. I don't know if that's worth it right now, though. Because right now we can use our port lances to immediately tag this one. They have 35 shields here, so let's remove some of that. So, shields are gone, well and truly. So now we can hit them with our Mazoa macro cannons, right? Our dorsal battery. Just gonna inflict a very solid amount of damage, and then we're gonna move right up to here, right next to them. And we're gonna do a point-blank salvo. See ya. I hope they don't... Yeah, they do. Okay. Ship explosions actually hurt.
Von Valancius dynasty.
Alright. We gotta repair our ship. Enemy attacks can penetrate your shields and damage your hull. This damage remains after the battle is over and must be repaired. Open void ship management screen to do that. That was pretty cool. We can use scrap to repair. We got 4 ancient machinery. That's cool. Plus 32 scrap. Alright. That was a fun little skirmish. I like the void combat. I reckon we could make it even cooler. I don't know if we can get a new ship in this game. I reckon we probably can, though it's probably not an easy thing to do. You can probably upgrade it. So let's open this up. We can restore 24 points of hull integrity with 24 scrap. How much scrap do we have in total? Let's open the void ship management right here. We have 87 scrap. It's not too bad. Let's do a hull repair. And we don't have anything here, any new equipment, do we? I don't think we've picked anything up. I wouldn't have recognized it, had we, or I probably wouldn't have. It's possible. Yeah, these torpedoes are hard to control, but I reckon they do quite a lot of damage. Okay. We could also further upgrade our RAM. We've already done quite a few hull upgrades, which is nice. We can do... still just rank 1. So there's a separate experience for our ship. That's really cool. Posts. This is important. So we need a shield master. Shield master requires tech use. Well, we all know who that's going to be. Master of maneuvers is athletics based. That is going to be Abelard still. Warp channeler is lore warp. I think I'm actually going to use Argenta. No. I'll use Idira here for that. Master of etherics requires awareness. Yeah, that's going to be Cassia here with her 90 awareness. And then the Supreme Commander is indeed persuasion based. So I think we're looking good. Master Cannoneer on with demolition. Yeah, so it's just Heinrichs. He does not have a post on our ship. That's fine. He's technically not one of our crew. There are a couple of things here. The Altar Templum Calixus X-17. That is where Pascal was formerly stationed. We have a dead world here, and then there's another void ship called the Drusus's Blessing, which looks to be an Imperial ship. So we probably don't want to attack that, unless we want to do piracy. But I don't think we're going to do piracy. I'm kind of doing a Iconoclast / dogmatic run. I know at some point you're going to be forced down one of the paths. And I will probably go Iconoclast, but I will err on the side of dogmatic in certain circumstances. Not too much heresy going on, though, you know, every now and then. A little bit of heresy never killed nobody. Yeah. A little bit of heresy never killed nobody. I'm gonna head through here. Let's investigate this dead world, see what there is to be found. I reckon there's gonna be nothing here. Indeed. Doesn't look like there's anything. Altar Templum Calixus X-17. I briefly recall Pascal... Yeah.
Lord Captain, the station's airlocks have been sealed from the inside. A Vox recording is stating that the priesthood of the Altar Templum Calixus X-17 Sanctuary have no desire to communicate with the laity, and are refusing access to guests on the basis of the Adeptus Mechanicus' privilege of inviolability, granting them sole jurisdiction over their sacred sites.
Very well. Doesn't look like we can interact with that right now. I reckon we'll be able to go there at some point. Let's see about the Drusus's Blessing. Perhaps we can do some trading.
Lord Captain, we have the flagship Drusus's Blessing with a small escort dead ahead. They're requesting a direct Vox channel, patching you through.
Alright, Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfast. This is one of the other Rogue Trader pictures. I wonder if the Chartist Captain pictures are all just randomly selected pictures from the Rogue Trader list. Presumably ones that you did not pick yourself.
Greetings, Lord Captain. I am honored to speak with the Rogue Trader of House von Valancius. May your name be known through the ages. Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfast, bearer of a free charter of the merchant fleet. How can I be of service?
What is your squadron doing here?
We develop supply routes for Chartists. You see, my ship is a representative of the merchant fleet in this part of Imperium territory. Yet we do not have a fixed charter-defined trade route.
Our mission is to establish business contacts with voidfarers in need of regular ship repairs and those who are interested in specialized goods. From where do you source the components you sell? Are you asking me to disclose our suppliers to you? Thorfast laughs airily. Well, frankly, they come from both everywhere and nowhere. We get our wares either from lucky voidsmen who stumble upon an abandoned, dilapidated ship somewhere in the neighboring system, or from unlucky ones whose sorry tub arrives on Footfall in such a state that that it's easier to take her apart than restore her. I would like to know more about the merchant fleet's operations in the Coronus Expanse. For the most part, all of the Expanse is fleets of different organizations and small flotillas of merchant ships. Uninterrupted communication between worlds is a matter of life and death for many outposts of humanity. So even in this dark corner of the Imperium, there are chartists and ships assigned to the various adeptus. Adeptas, probably. Alas, the Expanse has next to no stable trade routes, so the job can be precarious at times. Then again, no one is more intimately familiar with the hardships of local commerce than a rogue trader. Very well. I want to look at the catalog of components available for purchase. So we can trade with the Imperial Navy. This does not sound like a bad idea. It looks like they've got some cool stuff here. So let's actually have a look. What do they want? They want Void Necro... Okay, they want Void trophies. We have Void Pirate trophies, but I don't think we have enough to trade with them. So that's all they want. We have to win Void battles in order to get anything. This will show us what we might be up against. Really, Necrons. And indeed, they are the most valuable. Interesting that the Eldari trophies are more valuable than the Drukhari trophies. I would assume that Drukhari are a higher priority target for the Imperial Navy. But, alas, I want to see where the Void cargo thing was. I don't see it anywhere. Hopefully we didn't, like, accidentally not pick it up. I thought we did. We have Void Pirate trophies. So that should look like... the Jolly Roger. I could have sworn we grabbed it, but it might have been that I missed, like, a button. And I did not grab it. That would be pretty lame, but... in any case, we can still buy some things. A Mark 100 Auger Array. Oh no, sorry. We have a Mark 201B Auger Array, which is a slightly better hit chance. Well, I mean, in that case, I will proceed with that transaction. A Jovian pattern... yeah, I know how to do it. Okay. This plasma drive provides 13 speed and low acceleration and braking. Alright. Take it. I reckon all of these are just going to be better. Torpedo tubes? Ah, we could actually exchange either one. Interesting. I'm just going to buy them all, and we'll look at what we can do with these. Alright. We'll quickly do the sorting here. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to sort any other way. So, yeah, we don't have anything to trade further, but we were able to at least secure some upgrades, potential upgrades for our ship. So, we do have an engine upgrade here. We're gonna have a quick look. We have the laugh pattern too, and now we have a Jovian pattern. Equip it. It does look different. It does look different. That's cool. 80 points of protection for each sector. This will be, this is a prototype. This amount is doubled against enemy blast attacks. I reckon that's probably better. Auspex. We do have a better Auspex, the 201B. We will equip that. Armor. We have no new armor. We do not want to take it off. Macro batteries. Nothing new to gain there. Dorsal weapons. Just the one that we have. And the prow lance weapon here. We could replace with more lances. Or we could take off the torpedoes with another lance battery. I'm a big fan of lances. We'll do the torpedo thing later, but right now, I think I like the idea of having a, but then we lose our torpedo control ability. Maybe I should equip the torpedo tubes. Because we have 2 torpedo tubes, 2 lance batteries. Voss pattern torpedo tubes, plasma torpedoes. Yeah, that's these. We do have 2 of them. So... yeah. Keep it as is, maybe? The dorsal weapon we cannot switch out, so that is only a dorsal macro cannon. That's this one up here. Alright. That's cool. Upgrade, nothing to upgrade, and our posts are still good. These guys don't have anything. I wonder when they're going to get their abilities. I assume that's going to happen at some point when we start upgrading the ship. Alright. A little bit of a successful business endeavor, and then we are going to head to Footfall Station. And land there. We'll see what happens. Wait for the completion of the ship's inspection. Guess we're going to have an inspection. Void Dock Alpha Row. We have the Liege's residence, the Atrium, Void Dock Alpha Row, the Shadow Quarters, and the Martyr's Endurance. I reckon one of these is going to be associated with each of the factions present. Probably not the Void Dock, though. I think everyone uses the Void Dock. Pretty cool. It's all these things that are just chained together. Wild. Alright. Choose party members. You are going to stay behind this time, and we're going to be bringing... oh, the Lord Inquisitor doesn't come. Or sorry, not the Lord Inquisitor. The, Inquisitorial Acolyte. He disembarks. Okay, so we lose him. At least temporarily. I reckon we'll get him back. Or this game has temporary party members. I don't know. We could level him up and give him equipment. So I reckon we're going to get him back. I hope so. Also, he was pretty cool. Like the idea of traveling with a member of the Inquisition. But taking a look at this place just with the intro art here. That's, it's not intro art. It's just a screenshot. But cool looking. What you'd expect from an Imperial Void Dock. I reckon we're going to be spending a bit of time here, so buckle up, or I guess rather unbuckle up, because we're on dry land, in quotes. Once we leave here, who knows when we'll see dry land again. Alright. Wine racks. Oh, this looks like a nice void ship bar. Some aristocrats by the look of them. We're coming in with our Arvis lighter. Gilded Arvis lighter. Doing a reverse landing. And we exit our ship. Liege representative. Your ladyship, forgive me for not welcoming you with the appropriate obeisance. We were told that you would prefer to arrive on Footfall incognito, so we are trying to attract as little attention as possible. Alright, so the Liege already knows we're coming incognito, and I guess he's okay with that, so that's good. I'm here on behalf of the Liege of Footfall, Lord Vladame Tokara. The Liege awaits the chance to speak with you at his residence. But if you happen to have other business to attend to, I can serve as your guide and tell you about the station. Cassia's lips curl slightly. This is so familiar. Behind the amber-colored scattering of words and welcome, far less appealing hues lurk, murky and diluted. The look of someone accustomed to lying and hiding their intentions. Idira jerks her head, shakes it, and hisses through her teeth. Someone's coming, and they're coming for us. Watch out, Lord Captain. Uh-oh. Already? Abelard sighs and casually places his hand on his weapon. He's used to this type of shit. Who's coming? Judging by the voices, a lot of them. Angry. They've got teeth, but they aren't that sharp. Their strength is in numbers. Pray, what are you talking about? What could you mean by such a cryptic pronoun... She doesn't get to say the rest.
Hey, newcomers!
Oh.
How's this for a warm welcome?
And for thugs. I don't know.
I'll make an example out of you!
Well, what a landing.
The Emperor is with us!
Just, you know, footfall as usual. This is what you can expect. We're gonna put, Cyrene right there. We were forewarned of what was coming. So, Pascal has a plasma gun now. We can do fun things with the plasma guns. We're going to put him, actually, I think I'm gonna put him right... Ooh, here? No, I'm gonna put him here. Argenta can stay right back there. Although, that's not a great firing arc, but it'll be fine. Idira can go right here, and Abelard, he's gonna go right here. Now, we still have Cassia. Cassia can do some work. Who's going first? Armored Anver, and then some Anver thugs, and then Cassia. So Cassia actually needs to be in a decent position. So I'd like to be able to, you know, hit them with the eye. I'm gonna put her where Cyrene is, and I'm gonna shuffle Cyrene over. Alright, Cyrene will get the first turn, of course, because of her ability. We can just bring it down on somebody. Unfortunately, we have some limitations here. I will use it on Pascal, because Pascal can get some work done. Pascal could get some work done, or he could also use Machine Spirit. What's this called? Machine Spirit Communion. That could buff up all of the allies here. So this buff, again, does, reduces the recoil. So that would be good for Argenta. Not so good for anybody else. And then on the enemies, they'll suffer a penalty to dodge for a couple of rounds. I think we can actually get a better angle on that later, so I'm not going to immediately use that. What I will then use is we can do an area attack with this plasma gun. This will overheat the weapon for 2 turns, but we can drop this plasma shot right here, hit 3 of them. Chances of hitting them aren't great. I wish I could target cover, or we can do it right here and just blast these 2 guys right here. 87%, 69, nice. What about up there? Only 29% on that, and there is a box. We do not want to destroy that. That could be cover, could be loot. I think it's going to be these 2.
The scriptural prognosis is they venerate you, machine spirits.
Yeah, they didn't like that too much. And we still have an action point left. Apparently, we got an extra one. Would that be from one of our abilities? Quite possibly. Alright, we can do some, analyze. I would like to look for one of the armored thugs. There's one. We'll drop it on him. Right, so Cyrene's turn is over. Oh, there's another armored Anver right there. Probably should have done that. Alright, they tried to shoot at me with a shotgun. Now Pascal's out in the open, because that absolutely wrecked that cover. Very unfortunate. Okay, shooting through the crate. Oh, look, there's more. They're a swarm enemy, so they're kind of weak. Alright.
I will endure.
Okay, they do a bit of damage. Cassia. If you would kindly... It's a bit risky to stand out here like this. So maybe move a little bit back. And then we can do the littlest stare. And just... Yeah. Chunk as many of them as possible. Head it over this way, that's going to hit a lot of dudes.
I have read tomes of military Scarlet.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It just wiped the board. Alright, see ya.
Isn't this a job
Bring
for
it down on
serfs?
Argenta. Argenta. Yeah, we just have to use the basic version. Or I could throw a frag. We could do that. Through a frag over there, we kill only 1. So, no, we're doing it this way. It's going to put some shots down range. That's unfortunately potentially going to hit him. But if we do it there, then it won't. Alright, we'll do it like this.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Fantastic shooting, Argenta. Very, very well done. I am greatly impressed by your display of accuracy there. Just stellar. Ow. that hurt. And again, it was a shotgun. They do that. Alright, oh, Bloodstained Amelia, you're a character. I don't like you. You cause pain. 48% chance only. Not the best chance. We don't have... Great line of sight here. What could I do? I need to take her out. Or I can put some shots down in that direction. We could just pick these two off. The chance of hitting them is pretty low, though. So how about I move to here? That way we'll at least get cover from some of these guys. I'm going to dash back. And then we can presumably kill these two. Hopefully we just get them out of the way.
Each strike
Perfect.
is a prayer.
They are, in fact, dead. That is good to know. All right. So, we got 2 action points left.
As
I'm going
the
to pop
Emperor commands, I act.
my heroic act. She now has momentum. We can get some work done with momentum. Especially if we move up here. And I want to run and gun after momentum. Because run and gun will reduce the accuracy of all these shots. I found that out last time. So we're going to come right back to here.
Doubt is for the weak.
And then I'm going to use this. Firearm Mastery.
Resides in the
I'm gonna
will
reload
of the
everything, and then we
righteous.
get a bunch of single shots. So we could put some work on to Bloodstained Amelia, but that doesn't seem worth it. What I could do is pick these 3 off. We could also pick these ones
Faith
off.
without
Let's
deeds
take the ones
is
that are
worthless.
closest. Argenta. Argenta.
I'll do it. Eradicate
Thank
it.
you.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay, that one, oh, you're an armored one. That makes sense.
I'll do
Revel
it.
and Slaughter. And we're now going to run and gun. We're going to come right
God
back to here.
Emperor,
We'll
move
at least
through
get a
me.
tiny bit of
Be
cover.
the fire in my heart.
And I would like to take out
As the
these 2.
Emperor
We actually have a good
commands, I act.
chance. Nice.
Is
Okay,
a
one of them's
prayer.
dead. The other one is injured. And we have another shot here that can take out that one.
Eradicate
Who is
it.
also dead. Beautiful. Even though there were some misses, still a pretty effective turn for Argenta. Oh, look, more. Okay, they're putting some shots down at us, but luckily they can't aim. Ouch. Ouch. He down. I mean, he's fine, but he's down temporarily. All right, Abelard is going to need some forewarning here. He's a bit damaged, so we'll drop forewarning there. And also drop a prescience. Sorry, other one. Foreboding. We'll drop this foreboding
see
right
to
here
it
so that all 3 of our characters that are a little bit exposed are going to get some dodge bonuses. And then we can drop a prescience here on
It's as good as
Cassia.
done.
Just doing some psychic buffs. And we could do a consign on that guy. Armored Andrew. Why the hell not? Next shot against him is going to be a critical hit. We are taking a bit of veil degradation, but that's fine. I'm the... no, I'm not the only Psyker. We have Idira still. Alright. Well, Pascal, if you would kindly engage this lady here. I don't particularly like her. She seems
My vow
unfriendly.
is to serve.
So we're going to go up there. But before we go up there, we're going to go right here and drop this
The Omnissiah knows
Machine Spirit Communion.
comprehends all.
And then we can go right up here and give this Bloodstained Amelia a good old wallop with the Power Axe. Yeah, not a fan of that. She is. And Idira can also do some forewarning. We got to get closer. I'm going to have to expose her a bit. That's fine. We're nicely in a line, so if somebody wants to do some automatic fire on us, I will cry. But not much more I can do about that.
On it.
Gonna do a sensory deprivation there. Let's see, we also have Dominate. I don't know if I want to use Dominate. What I do, I think, want to use is do something to get some of these guys out of here. We have Vision of Death. What is that gonna do? Okay, so Vision of Death. Target must pass the willpower resistance test. If the test fails, the target suffers the Psyker's staff power level plus Psi rating, plus 30% of the target's current wounds and mental damage. If they succeed, they suffer less damage. So what's your willpower? 35 only. Seems like a prime target for this. Or we can drop it on one of these other guys. Does a bit of damage, but not that much. I think I want to hit her with it.
Anything else?
Alright, she got a Vision of Death. It didn't do that much, but it's something. Abelard is going to engage and hopefully wipe these guys off
It
the
will be done.
map. So this guy's a bit tough, so I am going to use the no or sworn enemy right here. We could charge in as well. He's going to allow him to get an extra attack. So that's going to do a bit of damage, and then he'll get an extra choppy chop right here, which will hopefully kill him. He unfortunately lived. That makes me very sad. I'm going to use Brace for
Victory is
Impact,
imminent.
because that should hit Argenta as well. Did it? It did not. Cool. Well, then I'm gonna use Endure.
At your beck and call.
Alright. The last thug is shooting at Cassia. Whatever. It's fine. Cassia can do things. Let's see here. We have held in my gaze. I could also try and hit them with the line ability. We can do that from right here, maybe. That might work.
The navigator is coming.
Oh, unfortunate. What about right here? No, we can't tag them. Would kill this one, at the very least, but then I can just use held in my gaze for the same effect. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this. Just get rid of the armored Anvur here. Yep. See ya. And then, please bring it down. On. Idira? I don't often use this on her. But I feel like it's not a terrible option right now.
To being ordered around.
So we're gonna use this on her. And then she can also Psychic Scream this this lady here. Because none of these ones are in range. So we're gonna Psychic Scream her. Get a little bit more damage.
Or...
Alright. Still a voice of command. We'll drop a voice of command on Abelard. Alright. She's gonna do something. Knives out. And she's gonna switch to a chainsword. And is gonna get parried. So, yeah. Screw you. Alright. We're gonna leave those two to Abelard. And we're gonna send Argenta up here. And Argenta is gonna go and give these ones the Sororitas welcome.
I'll do it.
Before we do that, we're gonna do concentrated fire just to make sure they understand our message.
As the Emperor commands. Oh, it's a prayer.
Significantly better. Still
Faith
could be better.
without deeds is worthless.
But it's not that bad. All right, you're gonna run right there.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
I don't know if that counts as cover, but I'm assuming it does. Probably line of sight blocking at least. And we have momentum again. She can't use her momentum because she already did. That guy's gonna. He's got an axe. I should have looked to see what weapons they carry. She is enraged. All right, missed there. All right, Cyrene. Oh, we can do Finest Hour, but before we do Finest Hour, I definitely want to make sure that whoever we give Finest Hour to
Let's make some
is buffed up. So Abelard already has his buffs. He already has the voice of command. So I'm actually going to drop this on Pascal. And then we're going to use... we could do Foreboding here again, but that's 2 action points. I'd rather drop a Prescience on Idira. And we could drop a Forewarning on Pascal. Or do you already have a Forewarning? I think you do. Yeah. I'll drop one on Argenta. Alright, well, she's going to need it. And then we're going to have Abelard go.
Moment.
So, Abelard. You do not have this on anymore, so we're going to... Sworn Enemy.
Indeed.
Give him a bit of a choppy chop. And we'll give him another little bit of choppy chop.
I took care of this one.
He did take care of that one, and then we're going to charge that one. Or not. Okay, we can
My
move,
place
and then we
is
can
at the
charge him.
fore.
There we go.
Victory is imminent.
And that's going to clear this flank.
One fewer target.
Perfect. We can then transfer the last action, the last action point onto Pascal, which is great. I love that you can do that. It's really cool. And Pascal is going to deliver a choppy chop right there. Very nice. What? Scriptural prognosis is favorable? Is that what he said? I don't know. We have 1 action point left. Could shoot you with the needle ring. 35%, or we can do it there. 0% doesn't sound great. We'll drop the consign on Amelia. Speaking of Amelia, we're going to prepare her for death. Oh, we still have an extra turn from that. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to use Expose Weakness here. And then we're going to do some chop chop. Good stuff. Excellent. We'll have this proceed onwards, I guess. She can then dash away, which is great. Yeah, alright. That was a little weird, but fine.
They who discern the future on the battlefield.
Well, you can die, particularly if we do an analysis on you first. Then you're more likely to. Good. See you later. Everybody that needs to be forewarned is basically forewarned. So I'm going to cast Sensory Blindness on this Anvur thug just to make sure he doesn't hit. And, yeah, that'll be Idira's turn. Effective. Abelard's gonna run up here and charge him. That should do the trick. See ya! Alright. Well, those problems have been solved. The servant. The shivering young servant looks up at you with horror in his eyes. Emperor, protect me. They killed.
Every time, I warned them. Then they all go, Dear Emperor, our Lord and Savior, how could this have happened? Who could have thought?
Idira spits on the ground in annoyance. Oh man, she cracks me up. Got some sass. Fear not, young man, we took care of the attackers. Do you know who they were? Your ladyship. Those guys were Embers. They're a gang. They're the worst, I'm telling you. They're scared of no one, not even the lead Shakara. He glances around like he's expecting more bandits to appear. Does this kind of thing happen often around here? Shootings, yes. Attacks on nobles? Not very often. Unless it's the Anvers. They're vicious. Not a week goes by without them killing and gutting somebody. They're wicked heretics. They respect nothing. They follow no rules. Go report this to the liege. Yes, I'm sorry, your ladyship. I'll go report to the liege. They killed her. They killed my lady. Oh, this is terrible. Yep, she's dead. Now that nobody's around, we can loot her, though. Alright. What does the liege representative have? Not much. We've got some weighty axes. Interesting. I'll grab one, and then we're going to throw the rest into cargo. We don't need any of this stuff. We do have a what looks like an RBT shotgun, or a riot shotgun at the very least. Certainly better than the regular old shotgun that we got here. Oh, axes are not by default in the always add to cargo. Let's switch that. We have a chainsword. Do we need another chainsword? I think we have one. No, I've got the life-draining sword here. Sure, why the hell not? Combat shotgun. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And some flak armor. We'll add this to cargo, and I will take these ones. That's going to be quite a lot of new gear for us that we can sell to the highest bidders. Did they increase the looting radius? I feel like they increased the looting radius.
Is there money to be made?
And that is okay. We need to level up. I will quickly loot the rest of these guys before we do that, and grab those goods that are there. There's more goods close by as well. What have we here? A leaflet. What does it say? We need no rules or leaders. We are not an organization. We are a force of nature. ANV. I wonder who that is. Alright, well, we'll grab it. And, we can take these guys here. What they have? There is just all kinds of bodies and everything going around here. People we can talk to, servitors. I mean, I reckon we can't talk to most of them, but that's okay.
Keep my options
I am going
open.
to switch some equipment around because that combat shotgun looks juicy, and I know just the person for to have it. I think I'm going to give it to Abelard. We have him with a chainsword, but I think I'm just going to give him a greatsword and a combat shotgun. Yeah, I mean, that just looks cool. Black armor. 35% armor. We trade that for the 10% parry, and then that will reduce his dodge. I still don't think that's a good option. I definitely don't want to use it on her. Could drop it on him. The armor is substantially better, but he gets the extra logic armor and extra ranks to tech use by the armor that he's wearing. So I reckon we're not going to replace his armor until we get something that's similar to what he already has. So, yeah. That was pretty good. I think I am just going to add these chainswords to cargo. I don't think we need them. Unless, like... Yeah, Argento, you already have an officer's chainsword. You have your noble's sword. You have the serrated knife. Can you wear the heretic? Or use the heretic weapon? Yeah, we have the Gem of Dark Vitality. Yeah, we're giving you that. Well, we already gave you that, actually. We have 2 of them, after all. We need a heretic to use them. Oh yeah, the life-draining sword. So yeah, I'm gonna give her this. That's even better. That looks pretty sketchy, too. Alright. I like that. We can send this to cargo. I don't think we need it. I don't think we need the weighty axe, either. I'm going to send both of the chainswords to cargo. I think we're going to send the modified lasgun. The great axe. We have a great sword. I don't think we need the great axe. I'll hold on to it for now. Maybe, like, I don't know what other characters we're going to get. These can go into cargo, these ship parts. Like, we've got everything we need. Alright. Let's level up, and then I'm going to call the episode. So. Oh, we have a new archetype. That's what's happening here. Oh boy, this is going to be big. Vanguard, huh? An unstoppable force on the front line and a beacon for their allies. Even when facing extremely heavy fire, a Vanguard grows only stronger in the crucible of battle. Core focus, frontline leader, defensive support, temporary wounds, absorbing attacks, and attack redirection. So, unyielding beacon. Each attack against the Vanguard grants them a +1 unyielding beacon. Each stack increases their resolve by 1, up to a maximum of +15. Damn, that's a lot of resolve. Any or all allies in a 2-cell radius that are around the Vanguard gain 1/5 of that bonus. Temporary wounds are applied to the Vanguard, now stack, that's cool, but only remain stacked until the start of the Vanguard's turn. At the start of their turn, the remaining temporary wounds are reduced to the largest amount granted by one applied effect. If the remaining number of temporary wounds is less than the number of stacks of unyielding beacon, it becomes equal to the number of those stacks, even if the Vanguard has no temporary wounds. Oh, that's awesome. So we get unyielding beacon. So we have 2 ultimate abilities here. So we don't have other abilities yet, but I reckon we'll get some. So the heroic act is, until their next turn, the Vanguard attacks each enemy that attacks the Vanguard's allies in a 3-cell radius around the Vanguard. Additionally, until their next turn, the Vanguard always retaliates when attacked. I know who's going to become a Vanguard, and it's not me. Master Tactician. Always in the thick of battle, using their leadership and combat prowess, Master Tacticians are able to harness the momentum of their party to enhance the combat effectiveness of their allies and themselves. The core focus is scaling with party success, long-term single-target buffs, I like that, momentum, and versatility. Press the advantage. The Master Tactician empowers their next attack to deal 4% additional damage for every stack of tactical advantage on the Master Tactician, or the Master Tactician has, and loses half of their stacks of tactical advantage. Alright, tactical advantage is the Master Tactician gains 1 stack of tactical advantage per every 5 momentum gained by the Master Tactician or their allies. Alright? The Master Tactician begins combat with the amount of tactical advantage stacks equal to their fellowship. So this is fellowship-based. That could be good, except we're not ever relying on attacks with Cyrene. But maybe we could. Because this seems like we charge it up, then at a certain point, her attacks are going to be super juiced. So then when we do need to make an attack, it's actually going to be effective. It might be something. We'll look at Grand Strategist. But for now, last volley. This will affect all creatures within the area of effect within 12-cell radius. Okay. The Master Tactician selects a 3x3 zone on the battlefield. All allies, including the Master Tactician that have line of sight to any enemies inside the selective zone, make an immediate single attack against a random enemy within the zone they can target with their weapons. Until the beginning of the Master Tactician's next turn, all allies that attacked as part of the last volley suffer -20 to their ballistic skill and weapon skill, while the Master Tactician's fellowship is reduced by 40 until the end of combat. Oh god. Oh, it's a desperate measure. Okay, so the Nope. Go back to archetypes. I don't know if I want that. And then Orchestrated Firestorm is going to be the better one. Yeah. Alright. So this is without debuffs. Alright. Grand Strategist. Masters of the battlefield, or of battlefield positioning for themselves and their allies. Grand Strategist is able to increase the battle effectiveness of their party by designating and strengthening important parts of the battlefield. Core focus, battlefield control, ally buffs, unique utility, and enemy debuffs. I think this is probably the one I'm going to go with for her. Combat tactics. The Grand Strategist analyzes the battlefield and can create specific areas, providing bonuses to all allies, including the Grand Strategist, frontline, backline, and rear. In the first turn, all 3 areas can be created. In the following turn, only one of them can be created. All areas can be moved with the corresponding abilities and cannot overlap. Ooh. If there are 2 or more Grand Strategists in the party, the combat tactics areas are common for all Grand Strategists, and the highest intelligence bonus and fellowship bonus of all Grand Strategists is used. There cannot be more than 1 frontline, backline, or rear. So Taken Hold is our heroic act. Target point within a 15-cell radius. The Grand Strategist chooses one combat tactics area. Every ally inside that area gains an additional turn with 1 AP and 2 MP at the start of the Grand Strategist's next turn. For every enemy that was killed in the selected combat tactics area, the additional AP is increased by +1. Okay, so this is very, like, set up. I like this. Yeah, and also increased MP. I like this. I think I'm going to do this for Cyrene. There probably won't take more than one, so yeah, we'll get what we have here. So that's combat tactics. Apply. Pascal can be a Grand Strategist, a Bounty Hunter, or an Assassin. Honestly, he might also be a Grand Strategist. It doesn't really make sense that he would be either of the other two. Let's read the other two while we're at it. Assassins are masters at identifying the slightest vulnerabilities of a priority target and dispatching them by any means necessary. Maybe we will make him an assassin. Core focus, high damage, dodge, and dodge reduction. Threat elimination, hit and run. Hit and run and the other stuff, not so much. Keystone features, seek the opening. The assassin sees a single opening for each enemy on one of the enemy's sides. An opening. Whenever the assassin hits an opening, excluding overpenetration, they deal an additional 10% of the target's max wounds. Damage. After an attack, the opening is moved to the opposite side of the enemy. Okay, so this is actually, like, you gotta get to the other side and move around through them. So this would be really good on, like, a warrior with the slice ability. After an attack, the opening is moved to the opposite side of the enemy. Openings of each enemy that were not hit by assassins during the assassin, or by the assassin during the assassin's next turn, are moved to a random side of the enemy at the start of the assassin's next turn. Ultimate abilities. Dispatch. The assassin makes an attack with the current weapon against an enemy. This attack cannot miss and deals 50% more damage. It also deals additional damage equal to 25% of the target's missing wounds. The assassin's dodge, dodge reduction, armor penetration, and parry reduction are doubled for this attack. Okay. I like that it also includes the dodge, so in case you're using like a reckless attack, you have a better chance at dodging that. And same thing will apply for the secondary weapon and the dispatch, or the desperate measures, of course, is this ability, but with some debuffs attached. The problem is this is an agility-based thing, so I don't think we're going to take that. Bounty hunters are methodical killers who leave trails of dead bodies in their wake. A bounty hunter chooses their next target before the previous one has even realized it's dead. Core focus, critical hit, defense reduction, killing priority, repositioning. Hunt down the prey. Bounty hunter may mark any enemy in combat as prey. Whenever the bounty hunter kills a target marked as prey, they gain a stackable bonus until the end of combat. The bonus depends on the enemy difficulty tier. Okay, Roman numeral on the enemy icon. I didn't even know that that was a thing, but that's good to know. So a 1 to 2 grants 25% of the bounty hunter's maximum wounds as temporary wounds. Nice. 3 to 4 is 5 times the prey's difficulty tier critical damage, and plus 2 times the prey's difficulty tier critical hit chance until the end of combat. And 5 through 7 is both of the above. And hunt down the prey is 3 charges. And then wild hunt. Bounty hunter simultaneously makes several attacks. The number of the attacks is equal to the number of prey in combat. These attacks are equally divided among all prey in the bounty hunter's line of sight. The attacks always hit and always score critical hits. Holy shit. So it seems like these later trees are a bit more focused around... they require a bit more setup. And now I'm kind of wishing I'd taken the Master Strategist. Or so, the other one, the Master Tactician. I'm going to take Grand Strategist for Pascal, just because it makes sense with him. We're going to take that as well. And we are absolutely going to give... Ooh, Arch-Militant, though. The Arch-Militant is a formidable master of warfare, able to blend various weapons and styles mid-combat, be it melee or ranged, anything in between. The Arch-Militant is the best at it and becomes stronger and stronger with each second in battle. Core focus, versatility, large area attacks, personal buffs, weapon set rotation, and crowd control. So, versatility. Whenever the Arch-Militant uses an attack that is of a different type from the previous attack, okay, the Arch-Militant gains a stack of versatility. The types of attacks can be single shot, single melee attack, area shot, or burst shot. Okay. The Archmilitant gains +5 weapon skill and ballistic skill for each stack of versatility. That's very cool. Ooh. If the Archmilitant has 4 more stacks of versatility, the Archmilitant deals an additional weapon skill bonus divided by 2 or ballistic skill bonus divided by 2 damage. That's awesome. Steady superiority. Until the end of combat, the Archmilitant can make 1 additional attack each turn. Nice. Including 1 additional attack on the turn this heroic act was used. The first attack after using this ability and each turn afterwards costs 0 AP. Awesome. It's really good. Or do we take Vanguard? I think he's going to be a Vanguard. Argenta, though, is going to be our Archmilitant. We do use the single shot and multi-shot bolter attacks, and this is going to actually make her kind of useful in close combat. So she is going to be our Archmilitant. Cassia here. What can you be? You can be an assassin or a bounty hunter. I think I'm going to have her be a bounty hunter, but, like, again, this doesn't really work with her as a Psyker that much. You know, I'll give it to her. We can always give her a gun. We'll let her be the bounty hunter. And I'll let Cassia be a master tactician. Why not? Okay. So all we're missing is an assassin. Hopefully, once we get Heinrich's back, we can spec him as an assassin, which would make sense for him as an interrogator. And he's kind of built rightly for that. Okay. Cool. We have our new archetypes. We are on Footfall. Can I, like, complete this? What's going on here? Okay. I think we're good. And, yeah, we're on Footfall. We had our Footfall welcome, which was about as pleasant as I expected it would be. And, yeah, our landing zone is covered in dead bodies and tomato juice. So it's, you know, usual business for Cyrene. All is as it should be. Alright, guys, that's going to be everything for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And do drop this video a like if you have, once again. And I will catch you all in the next one, which will be up in a day or two, probably. Alright, guys. Heritor out.